So I watched all 6 episodes of Requiem. Now, it came out first on the BBC. It's coming to Netflix tomorrow. I guess if I had to sum up how I feel about it, I feel, one, it wasn't that scary. So I think it failed as being a great horror that's really going to scare you. But I think as an enjoyable series to watch, I think it does a better job. I think there's a lot of different things going on, a lot of different characters, and they weave them together in a pretty good way, and they build some momentum. It has decent pacing, and it builds to a pretty satisfying, crazy conclusion where there's just the right amount of ambiguity, where they explain a lot, but they don't explain everything. And I think it gives you the perfect, where you feel satisfied, but also you can think and kind of draw your own conclusions, with that, which I think is always best. And the main reason I didn't find it that scary, I honestly think it was the visuals. So some of the visuals were good. I liked some of the landscape shots, and it was this kind of ugly English countryside. It was very large and empty, and I thought it had an interesting look for a horror series. And the main actress they cast, I thought they did a great job with her and her costume design. She had platinum bangs. I think it's technically a fringe, but I love the look of her. And the opening credits, it was kind of a black and white kaleidoscopic effect. It was quite good. But other than that, I thought the visuals were just really, really disappointing. I compare this to Tabula Rasa, which just came out on Netflix, very similar short horror series. If they had the story of this and the visuals of Tabula Rasa, I think it would have been great. Tabula Rasa, it wasn't that scary either, but at some points it was quite scary just because of these beautiful, haunting visuals that they were able to create. And here, I just can't help but compare them, and the visuals, they just seemed so cheap to me, so corny, that it kept me from ever being really scared. So the basic premise, Matilda, who's a pretty well-known cellist at this point, her mom commits suicide right in front of her. She slits her own throat. Now, when she's going through her mom's things, she finds all these newspaper clippings from this disappearance of this young girl in a nearby town many, many years ago. So she decides to go with her friend, another musician who's called Hal, and they go to this town, and they start poking around, investigating. While they're there, they meet this guy named Nick. Now, he's had an uncle who just recently died. He's having some money problems, trying to work out his inheritance. There's a weird symbol they keep seeing around the town. They're not quite sure what it's all about. There's sheep that keep getting mutilated. No one knows who's mutilating these sheep. And there's a husband who's kind of seems a bit abusive, is kind of a dick. So what I loved is they mixed these different elements. There's the supernatural elements where there's, people think there's ghosts and hauntings. There's the kind of occult, which is human, but it's kind of human tinged with a kind of mythical element. So with these symbols, they think maybe it has something to do with a cult. And then there's just basic, most ordinary human evil, which is just, an abusive husband. So I love when they mix all these things together, and whenever something bad happens, you don't know which of the three it really is. So I'll leave it there. Bottom line, if you're looking for an enjoyable series that you can blitz through, you can get through it pretty quickly. I don't think this one is too bad. If you're looking for something that's really going to scare you, and especially if you've seen a lot of different horror movies and you have a pretty high standard for what scares you, I think you're going to be pretty disappointed. I didn't find it that scary, and I'm not a big tough guy that I don't get scared by stuff. Lots of stuff scares me. The new Amityville movie, most people said didn't find it scary. I had a few decent jump scares, so I'm not a big tough guy when it comes to horror stuff, and I didn't find this scary at all. So definitely I'd skip this one if you're looking for something that's really going to scare you.